Against the other teams, Arsenal can turn up, play their football, the pretty football with the players they've got in their side and somehow get the results. But against when it comes to the big boys, they just get bullied.
What that is, because they've actually got some decent players, but I'm looking at the commitment levels yesterday of the Arsenal players and the desire. I'm looking at that first goal, and Koscielny, who's meant to be a leader in that team, meant to be the captain of that team, just allowing Spurs players to brush by him with no physical contact. He didn't engage. He just stood there, looked like he didn't care. There was no reaction. I'm a big fan of the Ox, but he's trying to clear a ball. Dele Alli fires it goalwards, it goes in, but before it goes in, it sails past the Ox, and he's trying to clear it with completely the wrong foot. Well, they're these players that can't be bothered to do things properly. I mean, what's going on there? They've had a weekend where they've been given a get-out-of-jail-free card. Man United have unexpectedly dropped points. Man City have unexpectedly dropped points. And what do Arsenal do? They go and lose. And not just lose. There's no shame in losing at Spurs. Their home record is phenomenal. It's the manner of the defeat, isn't it? Doesn't that have to be looked at? Where is the management here?
Well, there's 17 points, the difference between Tottenham and Arsenal. That's unacceptable, if we're going to be honest about it. The team is built there over the years. It is unacceptable, and surely, something's got to be done about it. The difference is 8. Tottenham have got a goal scorer who scored 27 goals this season. Mm-hmm. Harry Kane. Out-and-out centre-forward. Now, Sanchez played centre-forward. He started scoring goals. Now, all of a sudden, he started playing out on the left again to make way for Giroud or make way for Welbeck, whichever way you want to make it. Mm-hmm. They've also got a midfielder, a creative midfielder, who plays as a number 10 now, as a second striker, who scored 17 league goals this season, Dele Alli. They can't even compete, Arsenal, with that. They can't compete, Aid.
So what is the answer?
Same old. It's like a repeat button.
All right, are the players? Because I thought the 11 players yesterday, when they're on the pitch for Arsenal, I didn't think they were trying hard enough. Okay, so are they not trying hard enough? I may be wrong with that, but that's my view. If they're not trying hard enough, is that because they know the manager's going to go and they can't be bothered to put it in because he's not going to make a decision on their future? Why should they bother if he's not going to be there next season? Could that possibly be part of it? I mean, are they thinking, is it affecting them? The uncertainty over Wenger, because he hasn't come out and said what he's doing, and nobody above him is saying anything, is that affecting the players? Is that a valid excuse for players, do you think?
Something obviously going on there, but I just think that when you look down, you talk about that starting 11. Now, we always say about Arsenal, I think they're actually, they can be brilliant. We've seen that times and times again from Arsenal. Arsene Wenger, over the years, has been a quality manager. But when you look down their team and you put it at the side of Tottenham's, what they played at the weekend, there is no comparison. Gabriel, Koscielny, Monreal. He's got wing-backs, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Gibbs. It's Bellerin, who were talked about being one of the best defenders, wing-backs in the country, and he'd fetch millions and millions. Barcelona want him and all this. He now doesn't get in Arsenal's best 11, right? Walcott, who people have said is having his best season for a long, long time, which I thought he was at some point, scoring goals. Again, can't get in their best 11.
So is he picking the wrong team, do you think?
Well, I don't know. I'm not an Arsenal fan, so fans, please tell me. I mean, I don't know, but it seems to be. He makes the same decisions, the same players he would drop from his team every single time. Now, the question will go again in a big game. Where was Mesut Ozil? Again, in another big game. Why don't you just not play him in the big games and see what happens?
You see, because he's undroppable, and I think that affects the rest of the squad. They look at Mesut Ozil and they see him get picked week in, week out, rested when he wants to be rested as well, by the way. So he basically gets what he wants because he's the golden boy. Doesn't put it in on the field. The analysis over the course of the season has showed that him and Sanchez do not work hard enough tracking back at all. So they're not working hard. They've got a lot of quality, sure. They don't always show that quality, and they've certainly not been match-winning quality when they've needed it in Europe and domestically. So why are these two the golden boys? Why is it all about them and their new contracts? What are they doing to earn massive pay rises that they are demanding from Arsenal? And if Arsenal give them those pay rises, they've got a problem. If they don't give them the pay rises, they've got a problem as well. Arsenal, because they've persisted with this manager who can't manage anymore, have got themselves a massive problem. Now, I'll repeat it. There's no shame in losing at Spurs. Their home record is phenomenal
good side
this year. And by the way, they're moving just at the wrong time. However, that's another debate. But Arsenal need to at least compete. And they didn't compete. They got lucky in the first half when Spurs missed a couple of golden chances. Half-time comes and Wenger's got to say to them, right, we're still in it. We've rode our luck. Now let's make that work in our favour. And he comes up with something that helps Arsenal win the game. But it was the same old. They are useless. And let me give you this stat, right? When they played 15 games this season in December, Arsenal were top of the league. Top of the league. After 15 games. After 33 games, Arsenal are 21 points behind Chelsea and can no longer win the league. They can no longer finish above Spurs. That's an absolute disgrace of a second half of a season. Is the manager going to be accountable for that in any way? Is he going to be accountable? Or is he just going to decide his own future? Are the players going to be accountable for that in any way? Are they going to get out of jail with the fans because they win the FA Cup? Is that it?
Well, this is where it gets interesting on what happens to Arsene Wenger, because there obviously was a contract on the table. I think it's been taken out of his hands, Ed. I honestly believe that.
Who by?
I think the club, I know when you say he's above everything, I just think if it were there to sign now, they got to the fight, he would have signed it. I think it is now. You're going to either win the FA Cup, and I think that might be get out of jail card, where he'll sign the contract. He has to either win that or finish in the top 4. If neither of that happens, I think he's gone. I honestly believe that.
Bold statement.
I absolutely believe that now, because they would have announced it by now. They would have announced it now, because what they're waiting for now, what's left? 4 games? 3 games? 4 games?
They've got 5 games left.
5 games, right. What they're waiting for now, I just think he has to have a finish in the top 4, which is looking more and more unlikely. Luckily for him, and same for Liverpool as well, which we'll talk about later, but Manchester City and Manchester United have slipped up this week, and they could have made that their spot, and Arsenal would have been out of it. But now they're still in it. And they've also got a cup final to go to. They win that, or they finish in the top 4, and he signs a new contract.
It's
guaranteed.
Incredible. They have lost more than a quarter of their Premier League games this season, Arsenal. That's surely, whether they finish top 4, whether they win the FA Cup or not, is that acceptable for
Well, it is. The top 4 is acceptable for them. We've seen that. We've been talking about it for the last 10 years.
For fans, though, it's not acceptable, surely.
Well, it has been.
They've all moved beyond that now. Yeah, but it has been, because what they've done is they've accepted that belief from within the club that times are going to be tough while we pay for the stadium. If we get in the top 4, it's an achievement. Wenger said that. Well, he's said in the past, wow, just imagine what it'd be like if I wasn't here. How arrogant is that, by the way? But the time has now come. It came a few years ago, in my opinion, but surely by now, there's no fans left who believe that finishing top 4 is what it's all about for Arsenal. Those times are gone, surely. They've got to be moving on from that. They thought the first FA Cup against Hull was a stepping stone to greater things. What is it, another FA Cup? And a 4th place finish, possibly? Is that acceptable to the fans? 08717 22 3344.
Drive on.